Tonight's Eclipse Awards ceremony is brought to you commercial-free by John Deere, Keeneland, the Jockey Club, and FanDuel TV. After 2 years of uncertainty, some things are for certain. Horses and humans all begin exactly the same way, gangly and untested, trying to figure out, quite literally, how to put one foot in front of the other. Their paths will be different, but their destination the same. The goal is to arrive here, this night, these championships, this trophy. For one horse, tonight will not bring a surprise, but rather a victory lap to a remarkable journey. From a horrible accident to an undefeated superstar. He would race just 6 times, 3 in the last year alone. But for Flightline, less was always more. Each start more dominant than the last. More than enough for tonight's dreams to be answered. This evening, as these last days of January, a month that ushers in new beginnings, we celebrate and honor those whose past achievements led them to here, at this familiar and coveted destination, to hear their name called, to await their destiny. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Thoroughbred Racing Association, Daily Racing Form, and the National Turf Writers and Broadcasters Association proudly present the 52nd Eclipse Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm Florida welcome to our hosts this evening, Brittany Urton, Scott Hazelton, and Maggie Wolfendale-Morley.
Look at this. Good evening and welcome to the 52nd Annual Eclipse Awards. I must say, for a group of people that spend most of their time in jeans and boots on the backside, you all clean up very nicely, right?
Yeah, Britt, I would give anything to be in my boots right now, that's for sure.
Shorts and flip-flops for me, for sure.
Okay, maybe next year. We'll try it out. But it is fitting for the venue. How beautiful is this place? The Eclipse Awards held for the very first time at the Breakers Palm Beach. God. It is an absolute honor to be with you all tonight to celebrate excellence in horse racing. And speaking of excellence, I've been so privileged to work with some of racing's finest broadcasters, both on and off the Eclipse stage, and this year is absolutely no different. A big welcome to both Maggie Wolfendale and Scott Hazelton.
Well, Britt, all those years in school of being the weird horse girl has really paid off. And truly, it's an honor to be in front of you all tonight, and I'm so excited to share the stage with the both of you.
Yeah, I think for all 3 of us, we could never imagine the places, and for this room, the places that the horses have taken us. I never would expect to be on this stage. I'd only wonder what my father would say about me being in a tuxedo, because I think this is about the 3rd time that a Hazelton's actually had a tuxedo on in history.
You say where you get it. You look sharp. So tonight we celebrate the best of 2022, but we also celebrate the journey they took to get here. Our finalists all started somewhere. Same could be said for all of us in this room and those watching at home. The Eclipse journey. How did it begin? Well, we'll have some pretty adorable examples of that throughout the show. The route to get here may have been different, but the pull to the finish line is all the same. It's the love of the sport, the love of the horse. So wherever your journey began, however theirs began, tonight let's celebrate a sport that makes us laugh, cry, yell at the top of our lungs, sometimes all of the emotions all at once, because that's what we're doing tonight. Honoring the best of 2022 and a sport that makes us feel all of those emotions. So before we officially get started, we do have a couple of friendly reminders.
And as we celebrate the long and indelible paths that we've all taken to get here tonight, we're gonna breeze through this show like Flightline preparing for the Breeders' Cup Classic. So this year, we're gonna keep things as concise and to the point as we possibly can, and we are introducing the stopwatch, if you will, for acceptance speeches. And I want all of you winners out there to channel your best inner workhorse and try to go in a minute flat.
Yeah, because when this thing hits 0,
it's making me nervous already.
That's it. And Stefan Zeichner over here, when you hear that, that means wrap it up. You're out. We're gonna cut you. We want to thank Seamus Rooney, one of our trophy presenters, as well as Holland Ponce, a couple of local high school students that attend the Benjamin School. And also a big thanks to Belinda Stronach and the First Team for the last 10 years of hosting the Eclipse Awards. We thank them for the last decade, and we wish them the best with the upcoming weekend. Pegasus World Cup weekend truly kicking off 2023 in earnest with our first Grade 1 of the season. Good luck to the team.
As we all know in this room, it is no easy feat to get here. A lot of hard work, time, energy, and of course, a little bit of luck. So what we wanted to do before crowning some champions tonight is celebrate all of the finalists, because in our eyes, you are all winners. So if you could all raise a glass, a toast to the 2022 Eclipse finalists.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
And cheers to Four Roses. Ooh, takes the edge off. All right, with further ado, before we get played off, let the show begin.
Every single person in this room can unequivocally say that their lives have been forever enriched by horses. We know that our bond and connection with them transcends species. But the world was let in on our little secret when they watched a foal set his head on the lap of young Cody Dorman's, showing a horse's intuitive nature. Yet, this wasn't a one-way street. Along the way, Cody was able to predict every one of the equine Cody's wins. And he wasn't wrong when it came to this year's Breeders' Cup.
Last fall's Breeders' Cup was the culmination of a dream for teenager Cody Dorman, who was stricken at birth with Wolff-Hirschhorn syndrome, a genetic disorder that affects many parts of the body. In a chance visit made possible by Keeneland and the Make-A-Wish Foundation, Cody went to Gainesboro Farm in Kentucky and immediately bonded with a young foal, who was later named Cody's Wish. After Cody's Wish began his racing career, Cody saw his namesake win his first race at Churchill Downs in 2021 and win 2 more races after that. For the ultimate prize, Cody was with his family at Keeneland on November 5th to celebrate as Cody's Wish won the Big Ass Fans Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, a fitting capstone for both boy and horse. The victory by Cody's Wish in the World Championships was voted by fans as the 2022 FanDuel Racing NTRA Moment of the Year.
Unfortunately, the Dorman family was unable to attend tonight, but Cody has a few words that he'd love to share with all of us.
Thank you, everyone, for following and supporting Cody's Wish and me. Thank you so much for voting, too. I hear your cheers, and I love seeing how much this means to you and how it touches your hearts. I hope you never lose this feeling. I promise you that I never will. Thank you, everybody. You make me so happy. God bless you all.
So how did we reach this moment with the horse Cody's Wish? It all began with Godolphin's Danny Mulvihill trusting his instincts and going with his third choice.
Wow, what a story. I think everyone agrees, and important to remember where this started was back in 2018 when we had Cody as part of Keeneland's Make-A-Wish Day. And the story has just grown legs from there. I think it's like one of the best books you've ever read. You just can't put it down, and every page you turn is better than the one before it. So just what a story. I know Cody is watching right now, so I just ask you one more time, put your hands together and just let Cody know that we know he's watching. Thank you.
How lucky are we as racing fans to witness jaw-dropping performances alongside heartwarming, unforgettable stories. But last year felt different, did it not? From the tenacious battles in the female division to performances that were compared to the immortal Secretariat. I'll never forget being at Del Mar during the stretch run of the TVG Pacific Classic. There was a moment where the grandstand fell silent, seemingly in collective acknowledgement of what was unfolding in front of us. This was not something you witness every day, not something to take for granted. The finalists for older dirt male and female gave us memories such as this that will last a lifetime. So to hand out the hardware, a man who witnessed much of it firsthand, the CEO of the Breeders' Cup, Drew Fleming.
Thank you, Brittany. It's an honor to be here tonight. On behalf of our board and our nominators from all over the globe, it's so great to see everybody, and cheers to all of you. We're very, very fortunate to present the older dirt male, and so the finalists are.
The finalists for older dirt male were specialists. That is to say, they made so many races special occasions that it's difficult to remember anything else from them in 2022. Flightline ran 3 times, and each brought dashing superiority in a Grade 1 race: the Hillendale Metropolitan Handicap, the TVG Pacific Classic, and finally the Longines Breeders' Cup Classic in Kentucky.
Flightline has won the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Life is Good also won 3 Grade 1s: the Pegasus World Cup at Gulfstream, the Whitney, and the Woodward. Olympiad won 5 stakes, all graded, and they were led by his triumph in the historic Grade 1 Jockey Club Gold Cup.
An amazing performance by all 3 in the Longines Breeders' Cup Classic, and the winner is Flightline.
Owned by Horonis Racing, Sienna Farm, Summerwind Equine, and West Point Thoroughbreds, as well as Woodford Racing, Flightline was trained by John Sadler and bred in Kentucky by Summerwind Equine. Accepting the older male trophy, Costa and Stephanie Horonis, co-owners, and Jane Lyon, breeder.
Cheat because the minute probably doesn't start until everybody gets up here, so I'm going to gain 10 seconds. It all started with Jane Lyon at Summer Wind and her great mare Feathered, who along with Tappet brought us Flightline. From that point, it went to David and Gordo, who fell in love with the horse early on and said we need to see if we can get a hold of him for this group. From that point, the horse went to April at Mayberry, and she did a great job training the horse. We had a great pilot in Fabian Pratt, who did a marvelous job. I've always said we were blessed to have Flightline, but Flightline was more blessed to have John Sadler, because John Sadler did a great job with him. And of course, the ownership group. My wife Stephanie, I gotta keep that in there because that's very important. And brother Pete and his wife Lori, and Summer Wind, Sienna, West Point, and Woodford Racing. So now Flightline's in the hands of Bill Farish at the team at Lane's End, and we'll hope that his future is as bright as his past. Thank you.
And I made it.
The status as finalist in the older dirt female division was partially mirrored and partially created by the straining, courageous stretch battle of the Longines Breeders' Cup Distaff at Keeneland. Clairiere's strong season included a win in the Grade 1 Ogden Phipps. Goodnight Olive won another Breeders' Cup race, the Filly and Mare Sprint, after also winning the Grade 1 Ballerina. For Malathat, victory in the Longines Breeders' Cup Distaff was her 3rd consecutive Grade 1 triumph and put a stamp on her bid to be a repeat champion.
Malathat, what a finish!
What an amazing group of finalists again for the older dirt female. I think one thing they all had in common, they were all bred by Stone Street. So congratulations to Stone Street. And the winner is Malathat.
Malathat is owned by Shadwell Stable and trained by Hall of Famer Todd Pletcher. This is the 2nd Eclipse Award for Malathat, who won the Champion 3-Year-Old Trophy in 2021. A 2019 Keeneland September yearling sale graduate, Malathat was bred in Kentucky by Stone Street Thoroughbred Holdings.
Good evening. On behalf of Sheikha Hissa and her family, I'd like to say thank you very much to everyone that voted for Malathat. I'd like to thank Todd Pletcher and his team, Byron Lopez and Amelia Green. I'd like to thank Stone Street, and last but not least, Johnny V. Thank you. This is a fantastic, and this is for Sheikh Hamdan, so thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, to present our media awards, a man who wears many hats from FanDuel and the National Turf Writers and Broadcasters, please welcome again Scott Hazelton.
It comes as no surprise that each year the Breeders' Cup brings together so many captivating stories. But we also know there are stories that are around every corner, in every race, and the media spends countless hours uncovering them to share well before and after the minutes and seconds tick forward on the teletimer for every race. For this, we applaud their tireless efforts. Let us now celebrate the Media Eclipse Award winners for 2022.
NBC has won the Features Television category for its touching story on Cody's Wish and Cody Dorman. Produced by Jack Felling, this is the network's 8th Eclipse Award in the category.
Well, thank you for this wonderful award, but I gotta say, I feel like all we did was shine a light on a remarkable family. Cody Dorman, such a courageous young man, his parents, Kelly and Leslie, just tireless in helping their son overcome the obstacles in his way. For NBC, I'd like to thank Lindsay Schanzer, Amy Zimmerman, the great Tom Hammond, very talented editor Ryan Yeager, and cinematographer Samson Chan. That Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile was unforgettable, and we are very thankful for having had the chance to tell this story. Thanks so much.
The winner in the News Enterprise category is Tom Law for his story on the 2022 Preakness Stakes for Mid-Atlantic Thoroughbred. This is the 2nd Eclipse Award for Law, who is also the president of the NTWAB.
Wow, what an incredible honor to win one of this year's Eclipse Awards and be recognized for doing a job that I love. I want to give a special thanks to the judges, to my family and friends, and the entire team at Mid-Atlantic Thoroughbred, including my editor, Joe Clancy. Joe and Sean Clancy rejuvenated my career more than 10 years ago, and ever since have been the most supportive, loyal, and inspiring colleagues, partners, and friends. Congratulations to all of tonight's winners and nominees.
The winner in the Audio Multimedia category is Horse Racing Radio Network for its live coverage of the 2022 Breeders' Cup World Championships at Keeneland. This is the 3rd Eclipse Award for HRRN and Mike Penna.
Having our work recognized in this fashion again is extremely special. My wife Michelle and I would like to thank our entire crew, both on air and behind the scenes, who work so hard to put these shows together, all of our sponsors who help make our shows possible throughout the year, all of our listeners who tune in across the country and around the world, SiriusXM, our affiliates for carrying our show, and all of our guests who take time to provide us with the content we pass along to you to make our shows special. And lastly, a very special thank you to Flightline and his connections for giving us one heck of a storyline to cover at this year's Breeders' Cup. Thank you.
The award for feature commentary writing goes to Tim Layden for his story about Hollywood Park Racetrack, which appeared on NBCSports.com. This is the 3rd Eclipse Award for Layden.
Hi, thanks to the NTRA, the Turf Writers, and the Racing Forum for sponsoring these awards every year. Thanks from me to NBC for giving me the time and space to tell great stories, and to Ron Vaccaro, who came up with the idea for this one. And to everyone else, just remember when you're at SoFi Stadium or see it on TV, take a minute and remember all the great horses who ran there.
The winner in photography is Wendy Woolley, whose photo, Elbow Room Please, from the 2022 Lucas Classic at Churchill Downs, appeared on the Pollock Report website. This is her 1st Eclipse Award.
Thank you. What an honor. An honor because of the people who have won this award before me. An honor because of the incredible collection of images submitted this year. I'm appreciative to the Pollock Report for publishing the image. Also, I'm thankful for my fellow photographers at Eclipse Sportswire and the crew at Keeneland. I draw inspiration from all of you. Last, but not least, my husband, Matt. Your support and encouragement means more to me than words can ever capture.
The winner in the live television programming category is NBC Sports for its coverage of the 2022 Breeders' Cup World Championships. Headed by senior producer Lindsay Schanzer. This is her third consecutive Eclipse Award in the category.
On behalf of the entire NBC Sports team, I'm honored to accept this Eclipse Award for our coverage of the Breeders' Cup World Championships. This is always an incredible event, but this year exceeded all expectations with some of the best stories we've ever had to tell. Between Cody's wish and the unforgettable Flightline capping off his career with a win in the Breeders' Cup Classic, we were lucky enough to be there to tell those stories, and I want to thank our partners at the Breeders' Cup and FanDuel TV for their efforts in making this such a success. Thank you so much. We look forward to next year.
Congratulations to the Media Eclipse Award winners. Without you guys, we would not have people to make the intangible tangible, and thank you for bringing the racetrack stories to life. Congratulations. Well, if you've never gone steeplechase racing, you don't know what you're missing. They're some of the most fun times I've ever had at a racetrack. Whether it's a hunt meet or the Cheltenham Festival, the sport of steeplechase brings together an eclectic and colorful cast of characters where the horses have unique journeys to the winner's circle. This year's Eclipse finalists are no different. From the horse who only cost $900, who's gone on to win nearly $500,000 and celebrated his biggest victory with a pint in a pub, to the grandson of champion Personal Ensign, who has gone on to win more than half of his starts over the jumps, to the New York-bred mare, who has taken down males in 2 Greatest Stakes wins. These are your finalists for Champion Steeplechase Horse.
In the rough and ready division of steeplechasers, standout performances included Snap Decisions win in the Grade 1 Iroquois and Jonathan Shepard. Down Royal triumphed in the Grade 1 Smithwick Memorial. Hewick won a pair of races in England and Ireland before a runaway victory in the Grade 1 United States Grand National at Far Hills.
Crush them in the Grand National.
And the winner is, we might need longer on the clock, Hewick.
Owned by T.J. McDonald and trained by John Shark Harnlon, Hewick was bred in Ireland by William Quinn.
Congratulations, Shark.
Can't believe it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Listen, I don't know what to say. I can't believe that we came over here. We won the race in Far Hills, and he's been a very good horse for us, for the whole family. I bought him in my own local sales for 800 quid, and he's after winning $500,000. But tonight is definitely the biggest night of my life, and thank you for everyone.
I mean, that's what it's all about, right? That's what these awards are about, the emotions that you feel and the opportunity given. For this next one, I've always felt the 2-year-old division is one of hope and possibility. Young horses can be precocious, wise beyond their years, but at the same time, like a rookie stepping onto the field for the first time, absolute deer in headlights. The beauty of this division is the only thing that you can count on is that you can't count on anything. But with this group of finalists, the unexpected became the expected. Talented from day one and showed up pretty much every step of the way. You could say racing competition was their forte. The boys will kick things off, so here are the finalists for 2-year-old male.
The juvenile male division carries inherent suggestions of classic tests the following year. In 2022, those who hinted the strongest were led by Forte. Cave Rock was second in the FanDuel Breeders' Cup Juvenile, following a 3-race unbeaten streak, which included the run-happy Del Mar Futurity. Forte won a trio of Grade 1s in the Hopeful, Claiborne Breeders' Futurity, and then the climactic Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Forte to win the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Victoria Road brought a 3-race winning streak in Europe to Keeneland, where he won the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President and Chief Executive Officer of Keeneland, Shannon Arvin.
Good evening, everybody. On behalf of Keeneland, we are so grateful to the owners, breeders, trainers, jockeys, and many connections with us here tonight, celebrating our sports athletes and their performances during what was a spectacular year for our sport. Keeneland is also honored that tonight's finalists include 13 graduates of Keeneland sales and 17 horses that won graded stakes at our race meetings. Congratulations to each of you, and thank you so much for your support. And with that, it's now my privilege to announce that the Eclipse Award for 2-year-old male goes to Forte.
Forte races for Rapoli Stable and St. Elias Stable and is trained by Todd Pletcher. A Keeneland September 2021 yearling sale graduate, Forte was bred in Kentucky by Southgate Farm. Accepting the 2-year-old male trophy, Mike Rapoli, co-owner of Forte.
Get everybody up here. I'm going to be honest, it's going to be harder for me to keep this to a minute than winning 8 Grade 1s this year. So I think I'm going to go for the 125 words. If there can be a counter here for the 125 words, it'd be great. You know, first of all, I just want to thank the best partner in the world, Vinny and Teresa Viola. All right. I know many of you guys think I'm an easy partner and it's, you know, all roses and stuff like that, but sometimes I'm pretty competitive. So Vinny, Teresa, I want to thank you guys. I want to thank my family, Maria, Joya, my parents, all my friends and family back there. I want to thank our teams. I mean, Vinny's team with Rory and Monique and John Sparkman, incredible job by them. I want to thank Ed, Jim, Jake West, and Danielle, incredible job there. I want to thank IRAD and all the jockeys that ride my horses every single day that, you know, risk their life. The toughest part of the job is being a jockey. So IRAD, I want to thank you so much. Okay? Other than the ride in the Sanford, I was very proud of you this year, okay? Because he'd be undefeated. I also want to thank Todd. Honestly, incredible friendship. I'm not going to keep this as long as my Hall of Fame speech for Todd, but his staff, everybody from Palm Beach Downs to Belmont to Kentucky to wherever he stables, they do an unbelievable job. Many people there, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. It's amazing. And then I want to thank Forte. We're all in this game for a horse like Forte. We're all in this game to one day maybe own a 2-year-old that has a chance. You know, it's great to have the Kentucky Derby favorite. I think this team behind us would like to have the Kentucky Derby winner. I've had the favorite before. That didn't work out so good, but it's out of my memory. Don't worry about it. But Forte's an incredible horse. And, you know, we went to the sales, and this team picked out 2 Violence Colts, one for $1 million and one for $100,000. They did such a good job, the $100,000 became Forte. That's another story. The $1 million horse is at Central Park right now. So, I want to thank the violinist. I wanted to keep him busy today, so I'm happy that he's here. But I got 3, 1 second. All right, so the last thing I got is I have 3 goals in horse racing: winning, having fun, and sharing success. And that's what this team does here, and that's what the sport's about. Thank you, everybody.
If there was a hint of mystique among juvenile fillies in 2022, it came with the names of finalists Leave No Trace, Meditate, and Wonder Wheel. Leave No Trace scored in Saratoga's Grade 1 Spinaway. Meditate won and placed in group company in England and Ireland before scoring in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf at Keeneland. On that day of the Breeders' Cup, there was no questioning the solid wonder in the NetJets Juvenile Fillies on dirt. Wonder Wheel is her name, and a wonderful bit of wheeling and dealing from 11th place saw her win by daylight.
Wonder Wheel and a jubilant Tyler Gaffleone have done it in the Juvenile Fillies.
This year's finalists for Champion 2-Year-Old Filly won stakes races at Royal Ascot, Saratoga, and also at Keeneland in 2022. And the Eclipse Award goes to Wonder Wheel.
Wonder Wheel is owned by DJ Stable and trained by Hall of Famer Mark Cassie. A Keeneland September 2021 yearling sale graduate, Wonder Wheel was bred in Kentucky by Three Chimneys Farm and Clear Sky Farm.
Thank you. Sure is that the final answer? Okay. Well, how do you follow that acceptance speech? Except to say, Mike, I'm going to give you 30 seconds of our time, okay? So that way you won't get the violin next time. Thanks to all the voters who selected Wonder Wheel as the juvenile filly champion. We're very fortunate to have won this award twice now in the past 4 years, first with Jaywalk and now with Wonder Wheel. My mom actually named Wonder Wheel after her favorite ride in Coney Island, but I think she'll be the first to tell you that watching that filly win is the new thrill of her career. Wonder Wheel is certainly the type of filly that everyone dreams of. She's well-bred, great conformation, versatile, and intelligent. And from day one, she's been the benchmark that we compare everyone else to. I wouldn't be standing up here without this team. So special thanks to Mark Cassie and his entire team, led by his beautiful wife, Tina. And I've really learned a lot working with you for the past 3 years, so thank you. Kim Valerio and Martha Ingram, who literally graded thousands of horses, for us before we found Wonder Wheel. Carlene Bauer, who manages the green group and acts as my sounding board and part-time shrink. And is there anybody else? What are you doing up here? You're not even supposed to be up here. Yeah, all right. Finally, I just want to, now that we hear the violins, just give you some words of wisdom that my father mentioned to me. You do something once, it's a fluke. You do it twice, it's a pattern. You do it 3 times, it's a habit. I really hope that winning this award becomes a habit for us. Thank you.
Without a beginning, there is no journey. For a breeder, a beginning usually comes with the decisions on matings. Owners may begin the same way or by visiting one of the number of auctions across the globe. One thing for certain is this unpredictable path which owners and breeders follow is fueled by optimism, and that is part of the romance of this great game. We begin with the finalists for Outstanding Owner.
The owner category finalists, Group 3 prominent stables, with both recent and reoccurrent prominence. The star-studded stable of Peter Brandt raced 2 Eclipse category finalists, Regal Glory and In Italian. In addition to other Grade 1 winners, Bleecker Street and Gina Romantica. The racing operation of Sheikh Mohammed Al Maktoum of Dubai was the national leader in earnings and scored 13 Grade 1 victories. Its foursome of Breeders' Cup winners included Modern Games and Cody's Wish. Seth Klarman's Klarovich stable also is a finalist. Klarovich won the Preakness with early voting, among a dozen graded stake triumphs.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the president of the Thoroughbred Owners and Breeders Association, Dan Metzger, and vice chairman, David O'Farrell.
At TOBA, we are very proud of the commitment and contributions of all thoroughbred owners participating in our great sport throughout the year. Our outstanding owner finalist won a total of 53 graded stakes last year, and 22 of those were Grade 1 victories. Now for the winner.
The winner is Godolphin.
This is the 6th Outstanding Owner Eclipse Award for Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum.
I'd like to thank the NTRA, DRF, and the NTWB, and all the voters who voted for Godolphin to get the Eclipse Award for owner. This is truly a golden era for Godolphin racing, and these awards and accolades recognise how special it is, and they mean so much to Godolphin and Godolphin's founder, Sheikh Mohammed. We're really starting to fall in love with this decade, as Godolphin has a perfect trifecta, winning the owner's title in 20, 21 and 22. Now the pressure comes on to try and improve and even hit bigger heights going forward. It's great to reflect on these meaningful achievements, but what drives Godolphin forward is the ambitions and to set new goals to get us back on this podium to collect future Eclipse Awards. Thank you to our trainers, Bill Moss, Brendan Walsh, Brad Cox, Mike Stidham and Owen Harty, and a special shout out to our resident trainer, Johnny Burke, who was our secret weapon, and he gets all our horses back to the trainers in excellent fettle to be so successful on the track at the highest level. I'd also like to thank our jockeys who have ridden our Grade 1 winners, Junior Alvarado, Flavian Pratt, Joel Rosario, Tyler Gaffleone, William Buick and James Doyle. Thank you very much.
The finalists among breeders each combined impressive aggregate earnings with highlights of success at the highest levels. The Godolphin enterprise of Sheikh Mohammed Al Maktoum of Dubai led all North American breeders with earnings of over $18 million. Godolphin breds won 12 Grade 1 events with stars including Rebel's Romance and Nation's Pride. Stone Street Thoroughbred Holdings bred 2 Eclipse finalists, Malathat and Goodnight Olive. Stone Street had a total of 7 Grade 1 victories. Summer Wind Equine was breeder of champion Flightline. Summer Wind had earnings of more than $5 million with only 34 starters.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President and Chief Operating Officer of the Jockey Club, Jim Gagliano.
Good evening. The Jockey Club is delighted to be a presenting sponsor of this year's Eclipse Awards. Our distinguished group of finalists for Outstanding Breeder combined for progeny earnings of more than $37 million in 2022. And the Eclipse Award goes to Godolphin. Congratulations.
Godolphin has now won both the owner and breeder categories for the 2nd consecutive year.
This is fantastic. We love getting up here twice in a row. I'm honoured to be able to represent Godolphin's founder, Sheikh Mohammed, by receiving this coveted award. Everyone in the breeding industry appreciates how difficult it is to breed a Grade 1 winner, or even any graded winner. And for Godolphin to breed 10 Grade 1 winners of 13 Grade 1 races in 2022 is a fantastic achievement. And to cap the year with 4 Breeders' Cup winners, culminating with Cody's Wish winning the Breeders' Cup Mile, was extra special. This is the first time Godolphin has won back-to-back Breeders' Cup Eclipse Award titles. And I'd like to acknowledge some of the team behind them. Danny Mulvihill, Jerry Duffy, Rafael Hernandez, Benji Amescua, Paul Seitz do all the hard work and invest a lot every day back in Kentucky to make this happen. And by all their hard work, we get up here and reach the pinnacle of the industry and be able to get these Eclipse Awards. So thank you very much for them. Thank you again.
this sport, these horses, have a way of captivating us. And that passion, that love, it doesn't leave you. It defines you. Queen Elizabeth II gave her life to her country, but her deepest passion was reserved for her horses. I'll never forget seeing Her Majesty at Royal Ascot. As she exited her carriage, what struck me was the look of adoration and smiles she possessed, eyeing her horses as they left with a deep affection you only see from a true horse lover, clearly connected to each of them. As an owner and breeder, she remained a keen student of the sport throughout her remarkable life. So much so, in her final days, taking the time to call Bill Farish simply to discuss how incredible Flightline was. The Queen, just one of many who gave their heart to the horse. As we feel the emptiness of their loss, we will forever remember what they gave this industry: their passion, their attention, their love.
In a career that lasted over 4 decades, Lester Piggott was British champion jockey 11 times and won the English Triple Crown aboard Nijinsky. Stateside, he famously came out of retirement at age 54 to deliver an exquisite ride in the 1990 Breeders' Cup Mile. Piggott was hailed for being an empathetic partner to his horses and a fearless foe to his other riders. Fellow champion jockey Willie Carson once described Lester as bizarre, unique, and brilliant, and he has undoubtedly left his mark on the sport and beyond. This year's finalists for Outstanding Jockey have been brilliant in the saddle, and they have their own unique styles and stories that have gotten them to this evening. And now, here they are.
Achievements among jockeys in 2022 included the record of 77 stakes won by Irad Ortiz Jr., who joined Flavian Pratt and Joel Rosario as finalists. Ortiz won a record 77 stakes races, including 20 Grade 1 scores aboard the likes of Nest, Life is Good, Forte, and Goodnight Olive. Flavian Pratt was the regular rider of spectacular Longines Breeders' Cup Classic winner Flightline, who accounted for 3 of the jockey's dozen Grade 1 wins. Defending champion Joel Rosario won 10 Grade 1 races, which included Epicenter's Run Happy Travers Stakes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Executive Vice President and Chief Racing Officer of the Breeders' Cup, Dora Delgado.
As a hallmark of their consistency and excellence in the saddle, Irad Ortiz Jr., Flavian Pratt, and Joel Rosario have been voted finalists for Outstanding Jockey for the 2nd consecutive year. And the Eclipse Award goes to the tough sticker, Irad Ortiz Jr.
This is the 4th Outstanding Jockey Eclipse Award for Irad Ortiz Jr.
Wow, been an amazing year for me. First of all, I want to thank God. Want to thank my family for the big support, always with me. My agent, Steve Roshin, thank you for a great job. All the trainers, all the owners, thank you for supporting me the whole year. It was amazing. Thanks to all the grooms, hard workers, SRC riders. You guys make sure the horses are ready for the races. Thank you for everything. Also, I want to thank NTRA, and thank you. Hopefully, I'm here again. Thank you very much.
Finalists among apprentice riders hail from Puerto Rico, Guatemala, and Michigan, respectively. Jockey J-Run Barbosa won on his first 2 mounts, only 3 days after his arrival at Laurel from San Juan, Puerto Rico. His mounts earned more than $5 million. Guatemala native Vicente Del Cid gained momentum by capturing the riding title at Evangeline Downs when he ended the year as leading apprentice in wins and 3rd in earnings. Jose Antonio Gomez was the leading apprentice in earnings with $7 million. Gomez is a Michigan native whose mother and father both worked on the backstretch.
Our 3 finalists for Outstanding Apprentice Jockey made their marks last year, riding with great success on the circuits in Louisiana, Maryland, and New York. And the Eclipse Award goes to Jose Antonio Gomez.
Following in the footsteps of some of racing's greats, welcome Outstanding Apprentice Jockey of 2022, Jose Antonio Gomez, represented by a Hall of Famer, Angel Cordero Jr.
Wow, Thank you everybody. And who would imagine that I'd be here right now? Well, if you ask me, if you would have asked me 2 years and 5 days ago, I wouldn't have been able to tell you. Because people that are close to me know, we were in a little accident. And, it sidelined me for a bit, but it's not about how it starts, it's about how you finish. And, And I just want to thank my mom, Angel Cordero, Bobby Martel, Kaylee Breen, all the trainers and owners that gave me an opportunity this year and made my apprenticeship a great one. Thank you.
Well, growing up, I did not grasp what it took to be a trainer because what my father did each and every day was a norm for me. But as I grew older, I realized what he did and what trainers do is not the norm. 3 a.m. alarm clocks 7 days a week over the course of the year is not for most people. Failing a majority of the time and still maintaining a drive to be better is not for most people. But what most people should see when they look at a trainer is devotion to a craft that I profoundly feel is unmatched. Thank you, Dad. Here's the finalists for Outstanding Trainer.
This year's leading trainer in earnings was Chad Brown, who was joined as finalists by Hall of Famers Todd Pletcher and Steve Asmussen. Alphabetically, Asmussen's stable included Jackie's Warrior and Clariere. Brown's stable earned $31 million. Brown's runners won 18 graded races and included the likes of Regal Glory, Jack Christopher, and Early Voting. Pletcher's strong outfit included a plethora of Grade 1 winners, including Malathat, Nest, Forte, Life is Good, and Mo Donegal.
Please welcome the Chief Executive Officer of the Florida Thoroughbred Owners and Breeders Association, Lonnie Powell.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and special greetings on behalf of all the thoroughbred industry people from Florida in the room tonight. I know we all welcome you. We thank you for being here. We hope you're having a great evening this evening. And for those of you that are staying on for the big races Saturday, Pegasus Day at Gulfstream, we hope you have a great time and enjoy yourself. Our 3 finalists for Outstanding Trainer are multiple Eclipse Award winners in this category. In 2022, they combined for more than $90 million in total earnings and 109 graded stakes wins amongst them. So let's see who the Eclipse Award for Outstanding Trainer goes to. This one is very special. Go University of Arizona Wildcats, Todd Pletcher.
This is an unprecedented 8th Outstanding Trainer Eclipse Award for Todd Pletcher. He won his first Eclipse in 2004.
Thank you very much. In 2022, our team accomplished something that I thought was impossible. On June 11th, after watching his horses and his silks finish first and second in the Belmont Stakes, we momentarily left Mike Rapoli speechless. On behalf of my entire team, my wife Tracy, our family, I'd just like to say thank you to all the owners, all the horses, and all the team effort that went into this. This really is not an individual award. This is a team award. This is an award about the owners and, most importantly, the horses. Thank you very much.
if anything, Todd Pletcher deserves an Eclipse every morning for having to answer Mike's phone calls. So, well done, Todd. The finalists for champion 3-year-old filly equally dazzled us with their performances, yet they all had quite different paths to the track. One sold to her current connections, respectably, at the Keeneland yearling sale. Another was born and raised in Ireland by one of the most prominent owning and breeding operations in the world, while the other was foaled by her owners at their 90-acre nursery in Kentucky, whose foundation mare cost only $1. Here are the finalists for champion 3-year-old filly.
The 3-year-old filly division of 2022 found 2 finalists brave enough to face males in Triple Crown races. While neither of them won, both made their presence known. Nest ventured into the Classic Belmont Stakes after a pair of stakes wins. After her second in that classic, she ripped off impressive wins in 3 Grade 1s, including the Coaching Club American Oaks by a dozen lengths.
Nest, much the best.
Secret Oath won the Lone Sheen Kentucky Oaks prior to her own venture into a classic, went 4th in the Preakness. She then acquitted herself well in 4 additional Grade 1 stakes. Tuesday had won the classic Epsom Oaks in England in the spring, before concluding her season by winning the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf in November.
From Daily Racing Form and a 2013 Media Eclipse Award winner himself, please welcome Marty McGee.
Good evening. Daily Racing Form is proud to once again be a presenting sponsor of this great event. And in this particular category, it's worth noting that our finalists for champion 3-year-old filly won the Epsom Oaks, the Kentucky Oaks, the Coaching Club American Oaks, and the Alabama Stakes, among a total of 6 Group 1 or Grade 1 wins in 2022. And with that, the winner is Mike and Todd. You want to come on up? Nest.
Nest is owned by Rapoli Stable, Eclipse Thoroughbred Partners, and Michael House, and is trained by Todd Pletcher. A Keeneland September 2020 yearling sale graduate, Nest was bred in Kentucky by Ashview Farm and Colts Neck Stables. Co-owners Mike Rapoli and Aaron Wellman.
The violinist, you owe me $3,000. And the clock's running. Speechless no more. Thank you, Todd. Todd forgot to thank me, but I'm okay with it. I'm not going to hold that against him. I'm still going to call him tomorrow at 5:30. Just real quick, I mean, to own a horse like Nest and the brilliance of Nest, she does what very few horses do. You know, in Saratoga, she stole the show at the Coaching Club and the Alabama, where she just had that burst of speed, and you saw it. There's going to be a down to the stretch with one other horse, and she just kind of pulled away. It was really, really special. You know, she came in second in the Belmont, and Aaron and Brian were very disappointed. I got over it really quick, to be honest with you. So, but you know, being partners with many people, I really do enjoy being partners with syndicates. Syndicates are so important in the game, and Brian and Aaron do an unbelievable job. And, you know, I always thought the Eclipse Award was named after Eclipse Racing, but considering this is your first Eclipse, I guess it wasn't, but that's okay. So this is the first Eclipse Award for Eclipse Stables, very, okay? And this is my first Eclipse Award in 30 minutes. So I'm gonna pass it on to Aaron. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Get that tip money out for the violinist, please. Getting this to under a minute is more pressure than running Nest against the boys in the Belmont, and I can assure you, doing this in a minute doesn't do the moment justice at all. But real quick, I'm going to try to get through it. Thank you to the voters. Congratulations to all the nominees tonight, and for me personally, To be in a category that Dwayne Lucas had a filly in is a lifelong dream, and I'll just say the chance of a lifetime and a lifetime of chance. It takes winners to make winners. The Lister family, the Santudley family, bred this filly. They bred Mo Donegal and Nest in the same crop. That's championship worthy. Kudos to Jacob West, Jacob's up here somewhere, for shortlisting this filly with a championship vision. Ian Brennan and his staff at Stone Street, they churn out champions every year. They broke Nest so beautifully. Todd Pletcher, I could say so much about Todd, but I'll leave it at, you're the master. Oh, he's up here, good.
He's a magician.
A magician too, yeah, exactly. You're the master, you're a champion, you're the GOAT, man. Irad, another champion that guided Nest to a championship. I'd love to single out every individual that lay their hands on Nest. We know it takes a village, but we can't do that. You know who you are, and we appreciate you. Most of the credit goes to Nest. Thank you, Joya. Of course, the credit goes to Nest. She did the talking herself where and when it mattered most, which was on the racetrack, and this is her award tonight. I want to thank my business partner, Brian Spearman, all our Eclipse partners. This isn't just for the partners that owned Nest, but for everybody that's bought into an Eclipse horse over the years. My family at home, Mike, Corey, my dad, my mom, Talia, Sadie, Jack, thank you. The Spearman family, the Eclipse family, thank you all, thank you, Nest.
If there's any complaints of the length of the show, we're going to forward all those calls to Mr. Rapoli. 2022 marked the end of a 4-decade run covering the Triple Crown races for this year's Special Eclipse Award recipient. With that, we will miss the full-length trench coat traversing Churchill Downs barn area and a running count on trips to King Umberto's. Jay Privman set the modern-day standard on covering American classics, which led to being the Daily Racing Form's national correspondent for 24 years, and through this journey evolving with the times in media that no one could have predicted some 40 years ago. Here's a look back on the incredible career of Jay Privman.
Jay Privman's 4 decades plus career as a distinguished print and telecast journalist had a modest beginning. Young Jay was covering high school football when he asked for a chance to cover some races for the LA Daily News. Thus, his first racing coverage focused his binoculars and attention on none other than future Hall of Famer Spectacular Bid. From that point forward, Privman's incredible career embodied many chapters, all distinguished by knowledge, talent, and professionalism. He would have major roles covering racing from the numerous publications, most recently from the Daily Racing Form. Privman also became a familiar and welcome face and voice on a myriad of TV broadcasts. Whether it was through his written or spoken words, Privman's hallmark always was being articulate, entertaining, and thoroughly prepared. The array of individual honors, Privman's work earned him nearly 24 awards, including induction onto the National Museum of Racing's Joe Hirsch Media Roll of Honor, named for one of his mentors, and numerous awards for Best Breeders' Cup coverage, Best Coverage of Triple Crown races, the Old Hilltop Award, and Charles Engelhardt Award. He was also a member of 8 Eclipse Award-winning shows and a member of the Southern California Jewish Sports Hall of Fame. Before his retirement in the autumn of last year, Privman covered 39 Kentucky Derbies and 37 runnings of the Breeders' Cup World Championships, beginning at Hollywood Park in 1984. As for high school football, yeah, he still likes that sport too.
A special award for a special friend deserves a trip in front of the curtain. Surprise, Jay. I had the joy of working with Joy in broadcasting 3 different networks at the very least. Countless meals, miles, states, horse races, at least a few torn tickets along the way. But as anyone will tell you, win, lose, or draw, It was the same passion, the same integrity, the same balance and honesty that he brought to everything, whether it was his work or whether it was in life in general. After a few health scares, it's all the more special that he is with us tonight and he is healthy and able to accept this much-deserved award, as he is a true friend, not just to racing, but to all his colleagues, to his family, his lovely wife, Ann, who is here tonight, as anyone who has known Jay can attest to, and I feel very privileged to include myself in that group of his friends. It is a great privilege to me to present this special award to my good friend, a very nice person, Jay Privman.
Thank you very much for that. I'd like to thank the Daily Racing Forum, the NTRA, and the National Turf Riders and Broadcasters. Thank you, Scott and Caton, for those warm introductions. Thank you, Amy Zimmerman and G.D. Hieronymus, for that lovely video. And thank you to Matt Hegarty for the terrific story in the dinner program tonight. It's an honor for me to share the stage tonight with those receiving Eclipse Awards for their excellence in 2022. I'd like to acknowledge the trainers, jockeys, and the backside personnel who were giving of their time over the years. As a media member, the access afforded us in racing is unsurpassed, and it makes for better storytelling. I want to thank the fans and the horse players who read my stories, bought a Daily Racing Form, not inexpensive, and put their money through the windows. None of us are here without your devotion. And as Scott Campbell said so memorably when he received the Eclipse Award of Merit years ago, thanks to the horses, the horses, the horses. Now, many here tonight have been helpful and supportive over the years, and I'm fortunate to be able to thank them and count with others in person, but winning an award like this invites retrospection after doing it for all these years, and in recent weeks I've thought a lot about the people who unfortunately are not here, who either helped me immensely or would find joy in this acknowledgement. My father was a huge sports fan, racing included, so much so that he once spent Yom Kippur at Belmont Park. Now, to many of us, Belmont Park is a temple, but I don't think my grandparents quite saw it that way. My father was a $2 bettor, no more, but his interest in racing is what got me interested. His favorite jockey was Ted Atkinson, and one of my most satisfying moments early on in my career was being able to tell Atkinson that when I met him at the Hall of Fame at Saratoga in 1990. Not long after that, I ended up working with Atkinson's granddaughter on racing telecasts. You might know her. Her name is Caton Bradar. Small world, right? Trainers like Laz Barrera, Bobby Frankel, Eddie Gregson, Alan Jerkins, P.G. Johnson, Gary Jones, John Sullivan, Rick Violet, and Charlie Whittingham were among those who early on gave me insight into their craft and helped me understand horsemanship. John Henry was the first major horse I regularly covered, and the team that Ron McAnally had assembled, including the late Louis Senecola and Eduardo Inda, were invaluable resources. A 20-something reporter who didn't grow up in racing couldn't have done better in learning about the front side of the track than from Jimmy Kilroe, or the backside of a horse than Bill Shoemaker. And to help me understand the role of a steward, there was no better man than Pete Pedersen. Dr. Jack Robbins was as respected a veterinarian as I'll ever know, and he too was giving of his time. Publicists Bob Benoit and Nat West offered encouragement in my formative years. And from a media standpoint, I certainly miss the likes of John Asher, Joe Burnham, Bob Harding, Bill Leggett, Bill Mooney, and Bill Knack, all of whom I admired. The great Joe Hirsch, though, he stands alone at the top of that list. He was a mentor to myself and countless journalists over the years, several of whom are here tonight, all of whom are indebted to him for his guidance. Now, when Joe went to Joe Stonecrab, the 2-hour-plus wait evaporated. He parted the Red Sea like Moses. Hank Goldberg had the same clout. I miss him and my former colleague, Dave Litvin, too. All of those people contributed to my being here. but there's two non-racing people I want to thank at the end. First off, as many as you know, I had a pretty serious health scare a couple of years ago. The City of Hope Mile at Santa Anita is named for a world-renowned cancer hospital 10 minutes from the track, and that's where I've been treated, so I'd like to thank my lead physician and surgeon, Dr. Kevin Chan, for getting me back to good health. Finally, I want to thank my wife, Ann Warner, who hates being singled out, didn't want to be up here tonight, but she's over there. I want to thank her for all the love and support over the 12 years we've been together, especially through my illness when you were forced into becoming a full-time caretaker. They say good things come to those who wait. This Eclipse Award and you coming into my life, not in that order, are proof of that. That is my Eclipse journey. Thank you all very much.
Well, he might be retired, but I have a feeling we'll see him at the track quite a bit. And I think he can attest to what I'm about to talk about. This crop of 3-year-olds, they kept us on our toes, often dazzling us, sometimes shocking us, but always leaving us wanting more. To that point, it's to no surprise that once again, the Eclipse Award for 3-year-old male stands as one of the most contentious. Our finalists, 3 very different journeys. One, the picture of consistency, who danced every dance the whole year through. Another, a late starter, but natural talent, who was asked a lot of early, and he delivered. Lastly, one that found the grass greener, a world traveler who enjoyed beating up on the elders. Here are the 3 finalists for 3-year-old male.
Consistency at the highest levels earned Epicenter, Cyberknife, and Taba status as Eclipse finalist in the 3-year-old male division. Epicenter ran strong seconds as the favorite in the Kentucky Derby and Preakness. He returned to his winning ways with 2 more stakes wins, including the Run Happy Travers.
Epicenter in the Run Happy Travers.
Modern Games had won a Breeders' Cup race at 2, and he returned to win the FanDuel Breeders' Cup Mile at 3. He also won the Woodbine Mile in Canada. Taba bounced around the calendar, scoring Grade 1s in April, September, and in the Run Happy Malibu in late December.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the tax director and equine industry leader for Dean Dorton, Jen Shaw.
Our outstanding finalists for champion 3-year-old males had banner seasons, winning grade or Group 1 races at Saratoga, Santa Anita, Woodbine, and Longchamp. This year's Eclipse Award goes to Epicenter.
Champion 3-year-old male Epicenter raced for Winchell Thoroughbreds and was trained by Hall of Famer Steve Asmussen. A Keeneland 2020 September sale graduate, Epicenter was bred in Kentucky by West Wind Farms.
So handicapping the 3-year-old Eclipse Award is a little bit like watching the Derby. You couldn't figure out who's going to win till the wire came up. So thank you for all the support, those that voted for Epicenter. And I just want to call out a little special recognition to the track team at Breeders' Cup and Joel Rosario for their efforts that truly saved Epicenter and gave him a chance at a second career. So thank you to them. And finally, I just want to thank a few team members, Dave Lambert, David Fisk, Joel Rosario, Steve Asmussen, and Scott Blasey. So thank you, and thank you, Epicenter.
Even though Rich Strike at 80-1 caused more tickets to be torn than cashed, the reality is he simply added fuel to the dreams of a horse player. because when horse players dream, they dream huge. And the dreams of a horse player are as important to this sport as any. See, as a horse player, you're always looking for that next long shot score, and occasionally, as our next recipient will tell you, those long shots, they come and find you. To present the award to the 2022 Horseplayer of the Year, let us welcome Scotty McKeever, the President and CEO of Equine Edge.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. I'm happy to be here. As many of you know, I've been handicapping a long time, and I can tell you what this gentleman did in the NHC, the National Handicapping Championship, is a very difficult thing to do, let alone to qualify, and you've got 800 people you're competing against, and you end up coming in and winning that tournament. It's a very difficult thing to do over 3 days, and I think we can all agree that there are many pieces that make up our great game. Part of it is the handicappers and the gamblers, and so I think it's important that we reward people like this and we let them know how proud we are of them. This gentleman is amazing. He did an amazing job. Winning this 2022 NHC championship, winning $725,000 over a 3-day period of time. Pretty incredible. Please help me to welcome here for the Eclipse Awards and Champion Handicapper of the Year, David Harrison.
I'm just so honored and proud to receive this Eclipse Award for 2022 Horseplayer of the Year. One day after the legendary Harvey Pack passed in 2021, John Preachy would quote in an article, "A small piece of every horse player died yesterday," and that's exactly the way I felt. Harvey Pack was a huge influence on my development as a horse player. As John would also quote later in that article, Pack appreciated the fact that without horse players, there is no game, only a rich man's hobby, absent the collective excitement. To paraphrase Huey Long, every horse player is a king. Thank you, Harvey, for your contribution to this great game. You're a legend. Okay, to the thank yous, real quick. I was told I have a minute. I want to thank everyone at the NTRA, including Tom Rooney, Keith Shamblin, Michelle Ravencraft, Holly Short, for their tireless effort in assisting us horse players, asking questions that are probably stupid, myself included. Thank you to my daughter, my biggest supporter, who with positive texts during the 3-day event just helped me get the job done. And thank you so much for the airport reception. That was absolutely fantastic. And to my wife, Mary Ellen, for 2 things. Number 1, for accepting a marriage proposal from a guy that was totally out of her league. And number 2, for her patience and understanding of my 10-year pursuit of a goal that probably seemed unobtainable to her. Also, thank you to everybody at the NTRA. That we already did that. Okay. Steve Bick, the Jewish James Bond that he referred himself to. Thank you for your show. It's excellent. And with that, I close. And as Harvey Pack would say to all my horse players out there, 2023, may the horse be with you.
Well, backstage, I promised David an interview up in Saratoga this year. Having second thoughts. Very well done, David. Congratulations. As turf racing can be one of the toughest handicapping puzzles, predicting the winner of Champion Female Turf Horse has been as easy as betting the trainer. In the past decade, a Chad Brown-trained filly or mare has won 6 times, and this year, the odds are in the barn's favor. Conversely, the Champion Male Turf Division has seen many different trainers' horses win, but this year, for the first time ever, one trainer has conditioned all 3 finalists. So, just bet on Charlie Appleby. Now, here are your finalists for Champion Female Turf.
The resurgent stable of Peter Brandt was a recurring theme to major racing in 2022. harking back to major success of the stable in earlier years. Brandt's stable provided 2 finalists in the female turf category, In Italian and Regal Glory. 4-year-old In Italian won 2 Grade 1s, including the Diana. Stablemate Regal Glory's 3 Grade 1s included the Matriarch.
Regal Glory rolls in the Matriarch.
Warlike Goddess won a pair of Distaff Stakes and defeated males in the Grade 1 Joe Hirsch Turf Classic.
John Deere congratulates the connections of all of tonight's finalists and winners and is proud to be a presenting sponsor of this year's Eclipse Awards. The remarkable finalists for female turf won 6 Grade 1 races last year at distances from 1 mile to 1.5 miles. And the Eclipse Award goes to Regal Glory.
Female Turf Eclipse Award winner Regal Glory is owned by Peter Brandt and trained by Chad Brown. A Keeneland January 2021 Horses of All Ages sale graduate, Regal Glory was bred in Kentucky by Paul Pompa.
Thank you. Good evening. Such a pleasure to receive this prestigious award for Regal Glory. I want to thank Chad Brown, who did such a magnificent job training Regal Glory from her 2-year-old year through to her 6-year-old year, always keeping her on top form and top of her game. Not an easy thing to do. And his team of great horsemen who spent so much time with this mare around the barn, the grooms, the riders. I'd like to thank Jose Ortiz, who rode Regal Glory to so many victories over all those years, and to Flavian Pratt, who wound up the year winning the Matriarch for the 2nd time, and I thank him very, very much. I'd like to thank my family, my beautiful wife Stephanie, and my kids, and I love you very much, and you're super racehorse fans, and you've been a great support to me. And then I'd like to remember my friend, Paul Pompa, who bred Regal Glory, and who every time I see her, I think of him. And it was my connection with him as a human being and a friend that brought me to purchase Regal Glory and his dispersal. So, Paul, I'm sure you're up there somewhere, and you must be very proud of Regal Glory. You raced and bred a champion. Thank you.
As usual, the male turf category brought candidates from several countries, but all 3 were owned and bred by the powerful Godolphin operation. Modern Games was a classic winner in Europe, then returned to win his 2nd Breeders' Cup race. He triumphed in the FanDuel Breeders' Cup Mile.
A 2-time Breeders' Cup winner, you bet he is.
Nation's Pride had won in Dubai in England before arriving on these shores to win the Grade 1 Saratoga Derby Invitational and the graded Jockey Club Derby Invitational. The demanding Longines Breeders' Cup turf provided a fitting climax for Rebels Romance, building on 4 consecutive wins in England and Germany.
Godolphin Stars, Modern Games, Nation's Pride, and Rebels Romance collected 5 Grade 1 stakes in North America last year. Well, we know who won as far as trainer is concerned, but the winner is Modern Games.
The Male Turf Eclipse Award winner Modern Games is owned and bred in Ireland by Godolphin. Modern Games is trained by Charlie Appleby.
Wow, what a night. It's great to be up here. In the spirit of our founder, the goal is to compete in the best races in the world at the highest level. The common theme here is Charlie Appleby. He and his team traveled these horses multiple times last year. It's been very special to be a part of that and to watch it. Charlie sends his gratitude as well. Modern Games is in training, and he's going to target the Breeders' Cup at Santa Anita and work back from there. I don't think anybody in this room loves the Breeders' Cup as much as Charlie. So, well done. Thank you very much.
All right, how we feeling? Everyone good? Yeah? We're rolling, almost faster than Flightline. What do you think, John? Yeah? Okay. Before we hand out the final awards of the night, we wanted to take the opportunity to recognize the official charity of the Eclipse Awards, the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance. Each of us in this room know the duty we have to these horses when their racing careers come to a close. So we thank the TAA for the endless support of retired racehorses and thank each of you for continually making this a priority. Yeah. Now, we might be winding things down, but these equine athletes had a tendency to ramp things up. But the fleet-footed finalists for male and female sprinter gave us so much more than a speedy finish. They gave us stories of undeniable connection seen in the bond between young Cody Dorman and Cody's Wish, a champion in Jackie's Warrior who added to his already impressive resume before bidding racing adieu, and the power of consistency seen in Elite Power and Goodnight Olive. These are just a few of the 6 finalists for top male and female sprinter. Now for the championship honors, ladies first.
Speedy lady sprinters had a lively year, and the standouts made a competitive division. Caravelle won 5 stakes through the year, concluding with the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. 2021 champion 2-year-old filly Echo Zulu began the year winning the Fairgrounds Oaks and was around in the autumn to take the Dogwood Stakes. Goodnight Olive won all 4 of her races, concluding with the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint.
6 in a row and a Breeders' Cup champion.
Please welcome Executive Vice President of First and Acting President and General Manager of the Maryland Jockey Club, Mike Rogers, and Operations Consultant for the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance, Stacy Clark Rogers.
Hi guys, thanks everyone. The Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance is proud to once again be the official charity of the Eclipse Awards. And we thank everyone here and watching from home who make sure that aftercare does not become an afterthought.
And now our talented group of female sprinters include 2 Breeders' Cup winners and last year's champion 2-year-old filly.
And the winner is Goodnight Olive. Congratulations.
The female sprint champion Goodnight Olive is owned by First Row Partners and Team Hanley and trained by Chad Brown. Goodnight Olive was bred in Kentucky by Stone Street Thoroughbred Holdings. The Female Sprinter Award, owner Steve Lehman.
First, I probably need to apologize. I'm from North Carolina, and I cannot speak as fast as Mike Rapoli. Thank you. What an honor to represent this group tonight. First, I'd like to thank Jay Hanley and his group, Team Hanley, great partners. This is the first horse we've partnered together, Jay. Where's Jay? Doesn't get much better than this. So many people to thank. Our agent, Liz Crow. I'd like to thank the people that develop our horses, Paul Sharp, his wife Sarah. Goodnight Olive's jockey is here. Irad Ortiz, congratulations to you. Walter Velasquez, our exercise rider. He spends so much time with our filly. We appreciate what you do. The First Row Partners group is here -1. Will Robbins could not be with us. We think about you, Will. Wish you were here. The rest of the partners are Frank Romeo, Roger Kaplan, my longtime racing partner, John Eaton, and my good friend and partner, Marty Scheinman, who leaned over to me about 5 years ago in our first row boxes at Saratoga and said, "I want to own horses with you." And that's how First Row Partners began. I'd like to thank the wives of First Row Partners. They support us tremendously. My son Tyler, who's very involved in our racing. There's somebody, though, that I was able to win an Eclipse Award with a few years ago, is a mare named Day at the Spa. There's one correlation between Day at the Spa and Goodnight Olive, and that correlation is Chad Brown. We thank Chad so much, his team, what an effort, the focus, the ability to get these horses to these races. We are so proud of what you do, and thank you so much for making our partnership successful. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to the voters, but most of all, thank you to Goodnight Olive.
The heartwarming story of Cody's Wish reached a climactic moment. The Cody's Wish story, of course, involves a young man in a wheelchair who bonded with a yearling that later was named in the youngster's honor. The gallant horse certainly did his part when he won the Big Ass Fans Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, as his young admirer looked on. The well-named Elite Power ran his winning streak to 5 races when he captured the Qatar Racing Breeders' Cup Sprint.
And Elite Power gets up to win the sprint.
Tried and true Jackie's Warrior, the 2021 male sprint champion, added 4 more stakes to his record, and the Grade 1s included the Alfred G. Vanderbilt.
Choosing the name of a racehorse is a formidable task, and the 3 horses in this category are truly exceptional. Cody's Wish was named in honor of a Make-A-Wish recipient. Jackie's Warrior was named in a tribute to the courageous brain cancer survivor, and Elite Power fittingly was named after his own powerful presence on the track. Each of these horses represents the strength, perseverance, and the spirit of those they are named after, and we're honored to recognize them.
Oops, okay. And the winner is Elite Power. Congratulations.
Elite Power, the 2022 champion male sprinter, is owned by Judd Mott and trained by Hall of Famer Bill Mott. A Keeneland September 2019 yearling sale graduate, Elite Power was bred in Kentucky by Alpha Delta Stables.
Garrett O'Rourke couldn't be here tonight. He hurt his back, and so Lisa and I were first on the also eligible to take his place. And I would never wish pain on Garrett, but I sure do enjoy being here tonight in his place. On behalf of Prince College family, they would like to thank everybody that voted for Elite Power and recognized him as a champion that he is. And we'd like to thank Bill Mott for a wonderful training job, and Irad, beautiful ride in the Breeders' Cup Sprint, and everybody back at the farm that works very hard. Thank you very much.
We've made it. Time for our final award of the night. Excited? Shakespeare famously said, "Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them." All sentiments quite fitting for tonight's Horse of the Year finalists. But how do you define greatness? I found that sometimes a performance is so good that you simply can't. Frankly, they render you speechless. So I went to those that know them best. How would you describe your champion? Brilliant, simply fast, a true competitor. 3 descriptions of 3 finalists worthy of horse racing's highest honor, Horse of the Year.
In a vibrant year marked by superb performances, the 3 finalists for Horse of the Year, all are uniquely qualified for this honor. In alphabetical order, we salute tonight's trio for this evening's final award. Flightline. He dominated racing from coast to coast, winning his 3 races last year by a combined 34 lengths and leaving audiences searching for superlatives.
It is Flightline. It is spine-tingling, jaw-dropping, Breeders' Cup Classic win.
Life is good. He let his actions prove the wisdom of his name, winning 4 of his first 5 starts of the year, including the prestigious Whitney and the Woodward.
And Life is Good is going to win this Woodward. Life is Good by a length and a half.
And the filly Malathat. She admirably defined her status as champion, closing out the year with 3 Grade 1 wins, including the Longines Breeders' Cup Distaff.
Who's it going to be? It is very close. Did Malathat get up in the last run?
Please welcome the President and Chief Executive Officer of the National Thoroughbred Racing Association, Tom Rooney.
Thank you. I want to thank you all for coming to my hometown, my home county, Palm Beach County, and hopefully you've had a good night tonight. Before we get to the Horse of the Year, I want to thank some people that have been working very hard behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. Brittany Urton, Scott Hazelton, Maggie Wolfendale Morley for being our hosts tonight. Give them a round of applause. Awesome job. Our announcer back there, Caden Bradar, who's our voice of God. Holland Ponce, who's a senior at the Benjamin School here in Palm Beach County, going to SMU next year. Give her. My favorite, Seamus Rooney, my youngest son. JV football beast. I want to give a heartfelt thank you for working this year so hard to Michelle Ravencraft from the NTRA for bringing this night together. Thanks, Michelle. Also, we'll be doing a $10,000 check to from the NTRA to Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance at our after party, which is back where we started afterwards for bars open for an hour, so please stick around. And now it is our pleasure to enjoy Horse of the Year together. I'm not even going to open the envelope. We're going to do it together. Ready? 3, 2, 1, Flightline.
This is the second award of the evening for Flightline. The 2022 Horse of the Year is owned by Horonis Racing, Sienna Farm, Summerwind Equine, West Point Thoroughbreds, and Woodford Racing. Flightline was trained by John Sadler and bred in Kentucky by Summerwind Equine. Once again, let's hear it for the Horse of the Year, Flightline.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the Eclipse for putting on this beautiful event tonight. It's been sensational, gorgeous setting, really nice. Obviously, Flightline is a horse of a generation, and in the words of Trevor Denman, we may not see this again. He's a fabulous horse, and I feel so blessed to have trained him. I'd like to thank the owners, Horonis Racing, Summerwind Farm, West Point Thoroughbreds, Woodford Thoroughbreds, Sienna Farms, and Bill Farish. I'd like to make a special thanks to my help, Juan Leyva, my assistant, rode this horse perfectly for 2 years. My foremen, Caesar, Renee, and his groom, Adolfo. I'd like to thank Tyler Sorin and West Champaign, my blacksmith. Tyler Sorin, equine therapist, did a great job. I'd like a special thanks to Flavian Pratt,
We're looking at a bright young superstar right here. Don't worry. Don't worry about him. He'll be back. I'd like to thank also David and Gordo, who's on this horse from really early on. Think of the horses he's picked out already in his relatively young career. Zenyatta, Flightline. I mean, it's really amazing. He deserves a lot of credit. It's a great sounding board for me. And he provided me with a support dog, Breeders' Cup Week, Rupert. So in these events tonight, you know, I hope it brings unity to the industry. It's great to see everybody here. Let's all push forward and bring the industry up and like it should be. Finally, I'd like to thank my family. Thank you.
Can we get one more round of applause for all the champions tonight? Right? Did we all have fun? I think we all had fun, right?
Absolutely, and I think Mike Rapoli's handing out $100 bills, so
Yeah.
get in a
Find him
single
at the
file
bar.
line.
How much did you make off of Rapoli tonight? Yeah, lots of money, lots of money. It's okay, you got 2 awards. We had a lot of fun, if you noticed, throughout the evening, looking at some full photos, some baby photos of everybody, so we thought we would end the night by making fun of ourselves as well. Thank you so much, though, for coming out tonight, for celebrating the sport. Caton, I'm only calling you Voice of God from now on.
I expect it, and I have to say, my Eclipse Award journey started a long time before any of you all, but having seen you from the very beginning, I feel, and seeing these faces in the room, the industry is in a wonderful place for the Eclipse Award journey going forward.
And we really need to thank Tom Rooney, who you just saw up here, as well as the rest of the crew for the NTRA. You guys have put on a phenomenal show, as well as our team behind the scenes, including Amy Zimmerman, Jody Petrovsky. The list goes on and on. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.